The technique of Vipassana goes like this. So for the first 4 days when you rock up at this 10-day course, you're going to be doing a thing called Anapana, which is just breath observation. So you're just observing your breathing. You're not trying to make it deep, you're not trying to make it anything, you're just observing the natural breath. And this is a technique just to focus your mind, just to sharpen your mind. It's hard because we're so used to imagining and tripping out in our mind and, like thinking about everything. So you think like a simple task, okay, I'll just observe my breathing. It's so hard. You'll get there, you'll do it for 5-10 seconds maybe, and then you'll be gone for 20 minutes. And you'll be like, shit, I was supposed to be observing my breathing. And you come back and you start again and you start again. And you keep coming back, and slowly your mind starts becoming trained and you start being able to do it a little bit longer. 4 days of that sound like a lot. It is. It feels like a lot when you're there too. And then you start Vipassana. I'll tell you what Vipassana is. I'll tell you why, why it's so important. Because there's heaps of meditations out there. And a lot of them, you get benefits from meditation. You get benefits from Anapana. But if you want to be fully liberated from your suffering, to become an enlightened being, it's a long path, it's a long, long path. But if you want to start walking on that path, then you've got to do a specific type of meditation, a specific technique that works at the root cause of your suffering, where your suffering begins. No point trimming the leaves of the tree that's going to grow back. You've got to go to the root. So that's what Vipassana does. And this was the Buddha's discovery. This is how the story goes. Obviously, I don't know if it's true, but this is how the story goes with the Buddha. So lots of people knew back in the day and for a long time that suffering is caused by craving something or having aversion to something. So you're in the moment, you have a craving for something, and obviously it doesn't actually exist. You want something that isn't in the moment, and that creates suffering because you're not content with the moment. So you're resisting the moment as it is. That creates suffering. Similarly, you don't want something to be here that is here. Well, it's here, man, and you can't do nothing about it. So you wanting it not to be here, even though it is here, creates suffering. Everyone knew that suffering began through craving or through aversion. But the Buddha's discovery was, where does that start? Where's the root cause of that? And his discovery, he meditated hardcore. This dude sat under a tree and said, I'm not moving. I'm not going to change posture until I become enlightened, right? Even if my bones get scattered, I'm not moving. So it was pretty, he was dedicated, man. Anyway, so like a scientist, he observed his body. Lots of meditation, lots of figuring it out. What's happening here? He's learning, he's applying what he's learning. And he discovers that suffering begins with when you react to the physical sensations of the body. So it's not something you can just guess. It doesn't really make sense intellectually. It's something that you have to experience. So it's not like you have a thought. It's like this, right? So you see something good that makes you happy, and you get a sensation, a good sensation, and then you react to that sensation with craving. It's good. I want more of that. Or you see something bad, and you get a sensation. That's the first thing that happens. You see something bad, you get a sensation, then you react negatively to that sensation because it's a negative sensation. So it happens when you see good or bad things. It happens when you smell good or bad things, taste good or bad things, hear good or bad things, that are favorable or not favorable for you, and think good or bad things. And the reaction, the first point of contact, is the physical sensations on your body. So that's how you've got to work. That's where Vipassana works. You are observing the physical sensations of your body. Itching, coldness, dampness, pressure, pain is a big one that you go through in Vipassana. Tingling, vibrating, coldness, any physical sensation of the body. So when you're doing Vipassana, it goes like this. There's 2 equal parts to this technique. 50% of this technique is observation of your sensations, of your physical sensations on your body. So that means you're kind of just scanning your body. You start at the top and you're just scanning what's happening here, and you're just feeling it. You're not going, oh, there's a good sensation, great, I want this good sensation to stay, and there's not a bad sensation, you go, oh, I don't want this. Like, that's craving, that is having aversion, and that leads you to more suffering. So you observe. 50% of it is observing the physical sensations of the body. The other 50%, equally important, like two wings of a butterfly, they got to be equal in size and strength so that that butterfly can fly like a little legend. So 50% is equanimity. Equanimity is having perfect balance of the mind, not craving good sensations and not resisting bad sensations. You are cool, you're accepting the moment as it is, however it presents itself. You got no favors, or it's just whatever's happening, you are chill with it. There's a big pain in your leg, cool. Now the way you can be chill with it is by what you learn through this practice, which is impermanence. It's all impermanent. A craving, like a sensation, arises and passes away. It arises to pass away. That is the nature of the universe. That is the nature of sensations, of everything. Everything's impermanent. Everything will come, everything will go. Like you get an itch, you can scratch it to get rid of it, but you reacted to it. You said, I don't want this, and you scratched. Next time the itch comes, you'll keep reacting that way. If an itch comes, instead you can observe it. Go, okay, there's an itch, let's see how long it lasts. And you'll notice that it passes. This is how you can come out of cravings for cigarettes and things like that. You could smoke a cigarette, but you don't need to smoke a cigarette because cravings are not eternal. They're all impermanent. And that's what you learn through this technique. So having that understanding of impermanence, when a big pain or uncomfortable sensation comes, you can know, it's all right, this isn't going to last, it's going to pass. And when it passes, naturally, you can be like, sweet, I didn't react to that. And you come out of the reaction pattern of your mind. So things don't throw you around anymore. You're just more steady, you're more solid. And that's basically how the technique works. So yeah, so that's how the technique works. So that's what it is. That's what you do with Vipassana. You're observing your physical sensations and you are remaining equanimous with your physical sensations. And intellectually, I can tell you like how that works and why it works and whatever, but you'll never understand it until you experience it. You have to practice that to understand, wow, things are impermanent. And what's the point in reacting so strongly to something that's nature is to arise and pass away? Like, why get so attached and go, oh, I don't want this to be here, I don't want this to be here, and go through all that suffering when it's going to go anyway? It makes absolutely no sense. But that's what we do. That's the habit pattern of the mind. That's what creates our suffering and our resisting and our craving, and takes us from the moment, the only place that exists, the only thing that really matters. That's how you come out of your suffering. Observation of sensations and equanimity. And then the understanding of impermanence comes through that practice. So that's it, that's the technique. I know, maybe try it out, but the best thing for you to do is go to a Vipassana course, because then you can try it out for 10 days and learn from a master. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed this vid. Hope that helps in some way. And again, I hope you are inspired to try this technique at a Vipassana center. Peace.